I'm Camelia. I'm the senior product designer for both compliance and policy. And today I'm going to just talk over the process that I jump from a normal, like a problem solution kind of phase of the design and to go a little bit out of box and solve it for a little bit more visioning design and incorporate how we see the job, we can use job to be done. So it's actually all started with like the problem rooted very deeply, but for users could be not a big thing. So for example, if you edit a policy, this is our live product. I just change the name and I create a merge request. And actually what happens now, if you want to go to the policy list, I think, let's say that I merge these changes and I want to see that policy. So what I can do now is like I need to go back to banking demo and go to policy because actually I was in the banking demo. But what is automatically direct me to this page or this project of the merge request. So the merge request was here. So basically there are a lot of issues if user go to this list. So they see the policy is inherited, but they cannot edit it. So they need to go back to the original places. And this automatically directing, like it's kind of confusing. We have quite a lot of user research backed up. And we have like a scorecard done internally. We have internal people like also dog fooding, as it's like kind of confusing. So we want to solve this problem because like we have a technical issue that we need to store the policy as in a separate policy. We cannot store it, for example, in the group, like where I created the policy. So if I directly jump into the problems, what I will do and what I actually did is just to hide it. And if I create a new policy and how can I make this small? Create a policy and I'm actually in the same policy. I didn't go anywhere. So I merge it. And now if I go back to policy list, I'm on the same policy list. So user can edit it in the same area. So this kind of solve the problem. And but oh this sorry. No, okay. If you go to the issue itself, like we got a lot of discussion. And all those discussion is actually not about the solution to hide it. There are a lot of rooted other problems. So they are like bigger, like usually we will see that what people talk about it is more like, okay, this two red thing. I need to oversee my own organization. I need to organize my policy to enforce cross groups. And now currently they can do with a separate project, they can link it and do some magic behind the things. It's very hidden and it's very confusing. And another thing is like people always like from the people, I mean the user, they say, oh, I'm not I'm a technical person. Like I want to code. And there are another group of users that's like, okay, I'm not a coder. Like I just like forms and do stuff. So you see that like those things come in and make the discussion very complex. Actually, if we just focus on the problem and we have straightforward solution, but the solution will cause other problems. So I decide to like actually spend some time, jump back and go back to our job to be done and go a little bit like with the flow of the user to see what are they doing. So if you see their like main job, like the top job, they will really focus on implementing security controls in my organization's asset to reduce like threats and stuff. So what is important here is organization's asset is actually matches what we hear from like all the user research and the discussion internally that like they are targeting the whole organization. And what is not seen here is like the technical kind of non-technical people, but it's not supposed to be in the job to be done. And if we go over to the little job, like little task steps of what people do for this job, they will like gather policy, analyze it, determine it, and create a plan, implementation. So validate the control and stuff. Whatever like what we do now is only focus on implementation, the flows. So from the implementation of the controls, like I try to draw out what people do. And here, like you will see that they have a morning coffee, they open their computer, and then you directly have two different type of peoples. One will open their document and start making forms, making plans. Another one will like directly jump into the code. They might have IDE, they might not even use our like UI, and they will directly do everything in the code and review it. So you see a like kind of divergence here. So now like if we go over the flow, actually we go back to the things we constantly hear both internally and from the user. So what do we do with the whole organization thing? What do we do with the technical thing? The technical versus non-technical people. So for the first one, I think is also quite straightforward that we can just do everything on the organization level. Then we kind of get rid of the all the problems that like cross group, how you do it. We still have technical issue and the user flow we need to solve, but we need to jump out of like the current, like the original like small changes, what I did just to hide it and make the flow smoother. So that's like solve the like this part of red flag we got in the organization. And the second one is I think it's more fun, and it's also like give us a lot of inspiration what we do. So if we go to our current policy editor, where is my demo? So we have like a rule mode, a YAML mode. Here we're already separating the people, so doing it. But if you go to the YAML mode, you cannot go back to the rule mode. If you rule mode, you kind of have a preview, but it's like you cannot edit it neither. So I was thinking, like, why not just merging them? And we can take advantage of like people doing all different kind of things. So for the code people, they still need a way to read their policy writing code smoothly to validate it, to make sure is like useful. And for the form people, they might want a way that like to inform the other people who use the code is correctly. And yeah, they might like if they get familiar with the code and stuff, it could be also easier for them just to copy paste from the code and to the form. So it's their way that we are merging it. So first I go with a very wild idea that I was thinking, oh, if I'm typing, I can have a headphone on. I'm listening to someone is talking to me. If I'm coding, like I'm coding something code and they translate it into a human voice and tell me like, hey, you are implementing a condition that when SAST found vulnerability or something, and when you type something wrong, the voice tell you, I don't understand it, or give you a correction or something. And then it's easier. And for the form, like you also need a voice to tell you like, oh, this logic is wrong or something. It's basically like another person work together with you. I kind of like it, but I think it's a little bit too advanced. And I was thinking, oh, what I can like turn it down a little bit more. I was thinking that, okay, since I cannot have a voice, it's probably too much. Can the voice be a floating kind of text or something? If I'm coding, I have a text floating around. If I code on one piece of code and this part is just like a text form and tell me what to do. And oh, you can change it to voice. There's voice button if you want. And since the code is very long, like maybe developer don't want to switch to different files for like different policies. We scroll it, and then the text automatically detect which policy you are and highlight for you. I kind of like this idea, and I also think the text and code can be like automatically change their sizes based on what I'm focusing on. but somehow I feel like is a little bit out of my current capacity to completely show it to the like developer about my idea. And I was thinking, maybe I just turn down a little bit more, and that I can do a prototype, show my idea, and then like later on I can further explore the more like let's say intelligent idea. So what I did is like I put them side to side, and you need to kind of manually switch between them, but they are still auto-translating each other. So you still have the form, text, and code, and it's live translation. So it's not like as automatically as before, that's like is everything done for you. You still need to some clicking, but at least the thing is there. And we still can have the AI. So I quickly just go to Figma and did like kind of very simple lo-fi thing that if you drag a piece of code from like the AI chat thing, and then like the text show you what to do. And if you change everything in code, like what it can do is like the form automatically changing, and the rest is text, and what are changing like is a form. So that's automatic. And if you want to only use YAML mode, if you can. If you want to only use root mode, you still can. But it's not like voice control automatically detecting. And I create like those prototype and shared with developers. So which one? This one. This one. And it's actually so far quite positive feedback. And we were thinking maybe we can like use the 40% of time for the engineers to like focus more on this idea. And we can work it together. I think the more challenging is from my side, I need to spend more time on this. But I think like as a designer, just go jump out of box, go out of my normal like focusing on one problem and solve this one problem. We can like zoom into the user needs and like have a little bit more innovative idea. I don't think we can just do everything, just what I have imagined, but it's give a direction and to give something that like we can try in the future. So I think that's quite a nice process that we can try if we have time. Thank you.